In this section on percents, we are going to take a look at a method for calculating percentages. It's a Latin word which means per 100. So we're going to take a look at fractions, decimals, and that the percent itself is a type of a fraction, a type of a decimal. Let's take a look first at how we're going to work through this process. So we've got this fraction here that we'll consider, let's say, 2/3. We want to just look at something we know it's equivalent to. What's a similar, or what's an equivalent fraction? Well, if we multiply the top and bottom by the same number, we get an equivalent fraction. So 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6. I just need to start off with a fraction that I know, two fractions that I know are equivalent to each other, and watch what happens. I'm going to circle this 4. Let's pretend we didn't know that was 4, even though we do. Is there a method using the other three numbers that we could consistently come up with that number 4? So here it is. If we take 6 times 2, cross multiplying, and then divide by the 3, let's see what happens. 6 times 2 divided by 3. 6 times 2 is 12. When we divide by 3, we get 4. We get that top part that wasn't part of the calculation, but is the result of the calculation. What we're going to see is that in this way of doing percentages, this method works all the way through for us. As we use it, it's going to build methods and maybe some shortcuts for us to do other calculations with percentages to really understand them. But we're going to start off with this as our primary method for going through and calculating percentages. So let's see how this works with a few examples. So let's start with question number 1, 1a. In 1a, we're asked to take the fraction 3/4 and turn it to a percent. So we're turning it to a per 100%, an equivalent fraction to 3/4. And we use this method, 100 times 3 divided by 4, and we will get that top part. 100 times 3 divided by 4. That's 300, and when you divide by 4, you'll see you'll get 75. That's 75%. Okay. The missing number here was 75. And you'll see those two fractions are equivalent. The B question gives us the fraction 4/5. And again, we want to find the percent per 100. Learning some Latin while we're doing this. So we cross multiply and divide. 100 times 4 divided by 5. 400 divided by 5 gives us 80%. The 80 would have been here, right? 80% is our answer, because we're looking for it to be written as a percentage. C question gives us the fraction 7/10. We want to find the per 100, the percent, and so we cross multiply and divide. 100 times 7 divided by 10. 700 divided by 10 gives us 70%. So let's take a look at 2, 3, and 4. Question 2 is a little bit shorter because they only give us one part, but they give us the fraction 5/7. And we're going to see here we start getting answers that have decimal parts to them. They're not nice whole percentages, but they're not that bad either. 5/7 is what percent? What per 100? 100 times 5 divided by 7. 100 times 5 divided by 7. That's 500 divided by 7. And plug that in your calculator. You will get 71.43%. Of course, they wanted these rounded to the nearest tenth of a percent. A tenth of a percent would be this 0.4 right here. So we're going to list that as 71.4%. Okay. Could go there too. Oh, messed it up here. Come back. Okay, question 3. We're given the fraction 7/9. And we want to find the per 100, the percent. So we take 100 times 7, and you got it, divided by 9. 100 times 7 divided by 9, 700 divided by 9 gives us 77.77 repeating for a while. So when we go to round, we're going to round that one, this tenth, we're going to round that to 77.8%. Okay, there we go. That's number 3. And we'll close it off here with number 4 for this start. 2/11. We want to find what percent it is, and what we get is per 100. Follow the method. 100 times 2 divided by 11. 100 times 2 divided by 11. 200 divided by 11 gives us 18.18. When we round that to the nearest tenth, we get 18.2%. Okay, so there's our answer. And that's how we take fractions, turn them into percentages.